So, very pleasant good afternoon to one and all. So, in this session, I will going to share something about basic mathematical notation and its techniques for theory of computation. Myself, R. Karunamurthy, working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So, in this session, we will see something about basic mathematical notation and its techniques. So, I just share screen. So in this basic mathematical notations, in theory of computation, first of all, we want to know what do you mean by alphabets. So in this alphabet, we are going to be representing like this kind of symbol. So this is, we are say as a alphabet. So in this alphabet, nothing but we are going to be making some combination of strings. For example, I just going to be indicate like as an alphabet equal to 0, 1, right? So it, which means the combination of 0 and 1s, we are going to be making some strings like 0, 1 or 0 or 1 or 0, 0, 1, 1, like that. You can able to making some kind of strings, right? So this is nothing but your alphabet. So in this alphabet, we indicate the symbol like yes, this particular big summations, right? So this is one of the basic mathematical notation. The next one is we are going to be consider strings. So strings is nothing but the sequence of characters. So according to our theory of computation, the string should be collection of input symbols. Already told the alphabet is nothing but the symbol should be big summation. This is equal to 0, 1. So these are all some of the strings comes from your alphabet. Big summation equal to 0, 1. So now according to the input, I can able to say the string like as a 0011. You can create whatever may be the string, but the combination of 0, 1 only, not for more than that input symbols, right? So this is the way we are going to be indicating the strings. So next one is we are going to be consider length of the string. So length of the string in the sense, just to consider here 0011. So 0011, I just to say this is W equal to 0011. So whenever I'm going to be consider the length of this string in the sense, we indicate the symbol this one. So the length of string is 4. Okay. So this is the way we are going to be calculating the length of the string. So that's nothing but how many number of input symbols available. You just make it count. That count you have to represent over here. That is called length of the string. In the strings, one more special thing is we are going to be say the epsilon. So this is nothing but this is a null string. So this is nothing but there is no input. That time we consider this kind of null string. Sorry, this is not a null string. This is considered a empty string. This is nothing. This epsilon should be empty string. The length of empty string should be 0. The epsilon is nothing but empty string. About this empty string length, the length of empty string is 0. So before the case, this 0011, we are going to be count this input of we are going to be count this input symbols that's restricted for 4. But here length of epsilon should be 0. So this is the basic things before going to be construct any kind of transformations, right? So apart from this basic mathematical notation, you must know what do you mean by clean closure and the positive closure. So clean closure in the sense we are going to be represent like this one. When we are going to be make alphabet power star, this is called clean closure. So it's very, very important. Once we are understanding this clean closure as well as positive closure, we can easily solve the problem. This is called clean closure. Okay. So next one, we are going to be consider positive closure. This is called positive closure. Let me see difference between clean closure as well as positive closure, right? So positive closure is nothing but we consider this as a 0 or more times. This is nothing but we call 0 or more times. The same positive closure is nothing but 1 or more times. 1 or more times. I just show one example for this clean closure as well as positive closure. Let us consider. I'm having the example of my alphabet, that is clean closure. This is equal to 0 power minus 1. First of all, you have, according to the statement, now I want to say what are all the strings I can able to generating for this given alphabet, right? So whenever we call it as a epsilon, a clean closure, the first string must be epsilon. So don't forget this one. Whenever we call it as epsilon closure, you have to represent the first string as epsilon. So next one, we can say 0 or 1 or 0, 0 or 0, 1, like that. You can produce more than strings for this above clean closure, right? So or else you can consider, better you can understand one more example. Now epsilon, sorry, the alphabet power star, this is what? Clean closure. Okay, so I now represent the input symbol 0. So no need here, instead of in this place, I can given the epsilon, sorry, clean closure here, right? So according to this case, I want to say what are the string can able to generating for this above alphabet, in the sense the first string is the epsilon. Okay, I previously told whenever we are going to be representing the clean closure, that the definition should be 0 or more times. So 0 in the sense we can say it as a epsilon. So 0 or more times in the sense one time the epsilon symbol takes place. So second time I can read 0 input. Again I can read 0, 0 input. Again 000 I can able to read. So like that you can read your more number of zeros for the above case. Okay. So similar, we can say even alphabet equal to 0 plus. So this is already told you positive closure. So in this case, at least one time I want to read the input symbol, that is 0. So in above case, first input symbol is epsilon, but in this case, first input symbol should be 0. Okay. So Z, one or more times. So here the input alphabet is 0. So input alphabet 0 available here. So the first input symbol is 0. So instead of epsilon, here the first input symbol is 0. So please try to understand the difference between the clean closure as well as positive closure. So this is the main importance. This is the main mathematical notations and these techniques of your theory of computations, right? So next one, straight away we come for finite automata. Okay, so finite automata. So in this finite automata, we are going to be classifying into two types. One is for DFA and one more for NFA. DFA and NFA. So DFA is nothing but deterministic finite automata. Deterministic finite automata. Non-deterministic finite. This is non-deterministic finite automata. Right. So what is the difference between DFA and NFA? So this finite automata having the 5 different kind of the tuples. So that is both 5 tuples are available in your DFA as well as NFA. But we want to see the major difference for NFA as well as DFA. So DFA in the sense, this is my state, right? So this is my start state. The free incoming edge, that is for your starting state. I just represent Q0 as my start state, and also I'm having one more state Q1. So from one state to another state, it will be taken as only one input symbol, that is called DFA. So here I read the input symbol A, it reaches from one state to the another state. For this case, this is called DFA, right? Right? I can represent here also. DFA is nothing but I read the input symbol small a. So in this case, Q0, Q1 as a states. Q0, Q1, this is and all. We call it as a states. Okay. Whenever we read the input symbol A, it reaches from one state to the it reaches only one state, in the sense that is called DFA. In case NFA, in the sense I'm reading the one input symbol. We consider this is my start state. I read the input symbol A. It reaches more than one state, that is called NFA. You just see, it reaches A, Q1 as well as it reaches Q2. This input also A. So when I'm reading the input symbol A, it reaches more than one state, that is called NFA. Here I'm reading the input symbol A, it reaches Q1 as well as Q2. So this type of transient diagram should call it as a NFA. So please, so kindly remember, whenever we read the input symbol, it reaches only one state, that is called DFA. The same thing, it reads the input symbol A, it reaches more than one state, that is called NFA. So this is the major difference between NFA as well as DFA. So in this NFA as well as DFA having the 5 different kind of the tuples. Let me see. So the tuples DFA having the tuples like capital Q, alphabet, transition, start state, at final state. So these are the 5 different kind of the tuples available in your automata. These 5 tuples applicable both NFA as well as DFA. Only the transition should be varied. That we will see, right? So that NFA DFA problem we will see in the next class. Before that, I will say that what are all the symbols should be represented for, right? This capital Q is nothing but finite set of states. This nothing but your input alphabet, right? This is transition. That is, whenever we are reading the input symbol, where it reaches, where it comes from. That is and all we are going to be referring as a transition. Okay. So this is your start state. So each and every transition diagram having the start state. Only one start state available for each and every automata. But here the capital F represented for set of final state. That is, in your transition diagram, we are not considering only for the only one state as a final. It can be more than one final state should be available in your NFA as well as DFA, but your start state only one. Okay, the free incoming edges, that is called it as your start state. Okay, so in next session we will see the NFA problem as well as DFA problem. I hope everyone understand about the basic mathematical notation as well as what is the difference between NFA as well as DFA, and what is the difference between clean closure and positive closures. Thank you.